much killing, too much blood spilling. Each and every morning, it's weeping and mourning. We've got to stop all the crimes, erase the violence, let our voice be heard. We can't sit in silence. The hope of tomorrow is in no use today. We've got to live in love. Crime and violence don't pay.
Good morning to all of our listeners. Once more, we are now in our Cup Chat segment here on Activated Mornings. This morning in studio with us, we have Mr. Panel Brown, who is Assistant Superintendent of Police in the Traffic Department, and Mr. Karen Caesar, Sergeant of Police in the Traffic Department as well. And this morning, they are speaking on the topic, clearing the way for safer roads. Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, and good morning to St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
All right. So can you introduce yourselves, please, so they know which voice belongs to who?
My name is Panel Brown, Assistant Superintendent of Police, Officer in Charge Traffic Transport and Garage. I am here this morning to remind and to bring to your notice things pertaining to traffic and road clearing, as the moderator said, and how to make the road of St. Vincent and the Grenadines safer for all road users.
Good morning. My name is Kieran Caesar, Sergeant of Police number 189.
Short and sweet and to the point. All right.
Officers, what's it been like in the traffic department? What has it been like on the roads recently? I know that the department has ramped up some of their how should I put it? Some of your actions. What has it been like out there in recent times?
Normal.
Normal. Things better,
we
worse.
can't say normal because every day we have pedestrians and some motorists complaining about the actions of some motorists, and then we have the law which must be enforced, because we're in a democratic country and the laws of the lands must be maintained, and we are the ones who are responsible for maintaining the laws of the land. As we are aware that in the past 3 or so weeks, 4 weeks, the traffic department, they were engaged in a clampdown or some heightened activities in terms of bringing citizens aware as to certain things that they're doing that are wrong, that they should be corrected in respect of number plates or registration plate, as we may say. And there's a response to it. Persons are responding, but we have also the businesses who are responsible for making the registration plates. They have also been in contact with the police also. Okay. And they have indicated that due to the ramp up activity, they ran out of materials to make registration plate. Mm-hmm. So with all of this, the commissioner, his wise wisdom, would have granted an extension to the end of this month.
Okay.
So they have enough time from the 5th to the end of month to bring in materials so that persons who wants to comply will get their registration plate built over to the specification or to the font that was agreed upon by the police and the stakeholders. So we're getting people involved, so we're getting there.
Okay. I suppose from a personal standpoint, because I don't even know if my plates are correct or not. What is it that person should do? For people like me, what should persons do?
Well, there are businesses, well-known businesses, established businesses that are involved in the process. Right Stuff, OSV, St. Vincent. There's this guy up Beach Bunt,
Vigilance.
Visual Arts.
Okay.
Also, a lot of persons are stakeholders are involved because they see it as a lucrative business where they can put their skill to work.
Okay, so like in my case, should I maybe have an officer look at my plates and ask them if my plates are correct, or should I go to one of these businesses?
You can have the officer to prevent you from, if you have the correct prescribed plate, to prevent you from spending extra funds, except you want to help somebody. If your registration plate is of the standard, you would only spend money if you want to help somebody else. You can get to the standard where that is acceptable.
Okay.
So.
All right. Okay. Mm-hmm.
No. This has I just curious question, officer. You look like you normally on the road, right?
Yes,
On a scale of 1 to 10, what's the level of lawlessness that you've been seeing recently?
On a scale of 1 to 10,
Yeah.
I will say a 7.
Okay.
But since we are clamping down on these regulations in respect of the number plate, I put the changes within the public and citizens as well as we're using the road.
All right. Do you want to just explain to persons why, in particular, number plates are being changed, or they're not so much change, but an adherence to what the regulation requires?
I will give you an example, and a practical example I will give you. Now, we have these graphic designers they go and they study graphic design and so on, and they come back and they establish their business. And they are not wrong to practice the skill in the field which they are qualified in. But in terms of the registration plate, the law give you a dimension. And the dimension that the law gives, I believe the lawmakers at the time take into consideration all the pros and the cons in respect of registration plates, how the letters and figures should appear, so that one should not be mistaken in recognizing or differentiating the different letters and figures on a registration plate. Now, of late, we are seeing where a 5 is looking like an S, a 2 is looking like a Z, and so on and so forth. And in the world of crime, where proper identification is required, in most cases in the court of law, we have to do things in accordance with the law and to ensure that the citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines understand the law and understand what is required and what we're doing. Now, I will draw you to a simple case of identification. Now, you know we have lawyers, and there is a profession that is prevalent here, I mean, in all over the world. And someone is accused of murdering somebody. And there's a witness who might have recognized or who witnessed the act. But the accused person or the suspect is getting away from the scene. Okay? The person might not recognize the suspect, as in facial recognition, but they might see them getting into a vehicle. and the vehicle should be bearing a registration plate. You understand? But on recognition, trying to recognize the registration plate of the vehicle, he is seeing or she is seeing PX25Z0. That is what the person would have recognized. Now, the lawyer on the day in court would know that a Z does not come in the middle of letters, figures. It's either PZ 2046 or PZ or PX 2045, you name it. But that piece of evidence is probably what the prosecution is depending on to really make the case or to crack the case on identifying. But for some reason, the person who have witnessed the act and witnessed the vehicle that the accused person or the suspect would have entered to get away from the scene cannot properly identify the registration plate of the vehicle. Hence, the matter will be going down a path where hopeless that someone will be made responsible for the actions.
So they can, in a sense, get off on a technicality because
technically because of not being able to properly identify. And you know, there might be people who might be saying, man, that is stupidness. But if the person who is murdered is a relative of yours, and it gets down to that, and they cannot make a proper identification of the registration plate, then you're going to know what it takes really and how people normally feels on these technicalities.
All right, but I'm glad that you explained it, because as you correctly said, many persons are just saying, well, if officers don't have other things to do besides pulling up people with the license plates, right? So I'm glad that you explained, at least bringing home a situation of why it is important.
I often wonder, why is it that persons would make such statements when it comes to law enforcement? Because if we are biblically inclined, I would know the Bible. The Bible would have said that God would have ordained people to different profession. So if the profession that you say you make the watchman to watch your city, but where the watchmen of the city, where the law enforcers, the pastors are there to preach the word of God, the lawyers are there to defend people. Because if there isn't law enforcement, you don't need lawyers. If you don't have the existence of human being, you don't need doctors, and so on and so forth. And in any organization, you have different departments to deal with different aspects of law enforcement. So if the traffic department is to deal with the road and traffic laws, they have to deal with it. And when you on entering a country, when you would have made an assessment of the way motorists conduct themselves on the road, it gives you a sense of awareness as to how law and order is being maintained in the country. So the traffic department plays a pivotal role in shaping the community and the country in terms of how people view us as a country, and how law enforcement is being maintained in the country. So I mean, traffic department have its place in society, have its place in the country, have its place in the department, and that is why we are here to enforce the laws of the land.
All right, I have a question. Do you think that some of the traffic laws need updating, though, in your very humble opinion? Right? Because there was the talking point conversation a few weeks ago of what was it? Amplify music, and you don't have extra music. It's just the speakers in your vehicle. We have a question here. Somebody asking about the clear lights, that some backlights with clear bulbs, and we know that modern vehicles now, they are not the same type of vehicles that would have been around when certain laws were put in place back then. Do you think that at this point in time they need to be revised and maybe changed to adhere to, or let me just use the word adhere to, the type of vehicles that are now being made, that are now being manufactured?
No. First part of the question is that I know the parts of the traffic laws regulation which need to be revised. There's no doubt about that, and that is in the process of being revised. Now there are certain things that I do not have authority over. You understand? But when your vehicle is imported and it is registered and you start driving it on the road of sinners and grindings, I'm in charge of that vehicle also. The clear lights is a problem, a serious problem. Some of the vehicles, they come with the regular colored lights to the rear. The red offside light, the last year must have a red offside light, and the amber for the indicators, and so on and so forth. And sometimes when these people order this vehicle, they order the change of lights one time. And before they bring them on the road, they do all the changing. And in the heat of the day, of the sun, when you have somebody in front of you, a motorist in front of you, and they are indicating with the clear light, sometimes it makes it difficult for you to see where they're indicating to go. I was traveling home last night, and there's this vehicle. I really want to call the registration number, but I am not going to. And while driving behind this vehicle, the vehicle have the two rear lights. Just keep blinking all the time. Just keep blinking all the time.
Yeah.
Blinking all the time. Now, I don't know what is the message the driver of that vehicle is sending. I don't know what he wanted to do or what he's doing.
As in the road message.
As to the road message.
Right.
But to me, it gave me a false sense of indication as to what he wants to do. Because I don't know if it was the indicator just keep blinking, but they were red. The two lights that were blinking in the back were red, so I just take it that is the brake light or the red outside light. But it gives you a false sense of direction. You don't know. So you driving behind these people, and you have to really keep a safe distance of about 15 feet away from them, just in case, to just make yourself safe. So the white lights, and people have to refrain from doing these things. You understand? The cash is limited, but you're still finding time to dress up your car, to spend the extra money on your car, just to allow yourself to be noticed by the police.
All right.
Do we have any other issues surrounding lights? Are there any others?
Well,
Yes.
I am seeing some vehicles, especially cars and public service transport on the bus. They always have two lights in front. The fog lamps or whatsoever. Some of them have them pink, green, blue, and they just keep blinking. Just in the bumper. That is an offense. The only color light you're supposed to have in the vehicle is the brake light and the indicator. One is amber, one is red.
All right. You're also seeing some of these vehicles with some, fluorescent lamps bulb added to them. some long lights. And at night, if you're driving and those vehicles coming towards you, you can't see anything because they are so bright. They take up the whole road, block you out. So that is a major concern. Don't we are clamping down on all those stuff.
Okay. All right. So somebody has a question. Can you ask the officer when inspection will be done in Beckway? They said that their car is due for inspection this month, but they cannot get a date from traffic departments as yet.
There is a serious problem with the grenades. And persons in the grenades have to try to adhere. Every fortnight, we have motor vehicle examiners and inspectors going down to Beckway. So you mean every 2 weeks. You understand? The announcement will go out and the revenue office will be informed. The day before the officers goes to Beckway, motorists will go to the revenue office and ask, when are the inspectors coming down? And they will say, tomorrow, look, you notice there. And when the motor vehicle examiners go down, they never turn up. When the motor vehicle examiner come back up on mainland, they will go back to the revenue office and ask, when next they're coming down? No, people have to be responsible. They have to be responsible and be aware as to what is happening and make use of the opportunity.
So is it a case where so how it is done here on mainland, where you would do the regular stop, well, not so much searches, but stop and inspection of vehicles, etc. Does it happen often in the Grenadines so that you'll be able to find out when persons have not gone for inspection and they're not they're not in compliance?
It happened periodically in Grenadines, not as often as on the mainland. And there are times when police from the traffic department will go to the Grenadines Island and do these activities, carry out these activities in terms of clamping down, making sure that persons are in compliance with the law, the regulation. Beckway, we have police on each of the islands, and they do their own checks also to ensure that persons are in compliance with the regulation. But in terms of the inspection, we have designated time. We have time allocated for the motor vehicle inspector to go down and inspect these motor vehicles. And before they go down, we normally allow them via the media and the revenue office on each island, normally put up a notice to say that the examiner will be done from what time to what time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it is done regularly.
Okay.
Which set of, I'm trying to find the correct word, heavy big trucks and things, right? Which set of vehicles like that need to have an outrider? I think a couple interviews ago, an officer mentioned that the trailer trucks, but I can't remember if what all he said should have, what he or she said should have outriders.
Not really outriders, they should have a pilot, a vehicle ahead to allow it.
The traffic that coming towards.
Other motorists that allow vehicles is approaching. So it's like a pilot. I know in my early days, in the organization in the 1990s, 1991, 92, coming up there. I know the Ferraris and so on and so forth, and the Eustas, they always used to have a pilot. Someone with a smaller vehicle to flag you down to indicate that a long vehicle is approaching. But I have seen that practice gone out the window. That is on the revised. It's part of the law that needs to that is being revised also to make it clear to persons. And also, what was discussed is that the stakeholders are trying to put a limitation as to when and how these trailers should operate, which I believe is very important, because when you look at them on the road now, they have no regards to humans' life and health. The way how they drive.
It's only kind of like normal vans.
Like normal, and sometimes they're in your path and they expect you to just know that they're coming and to move out.
Mm-hmm.
So all these acts we are clamping down on, and I know that there are some members of the public who will be satisfied that the police are doing their best in order to make them safer while using the roads.
But SV, do we have to wait for laws to be passed? Because, laws could sometimes take, well, depending on the law, but sometimes laws take a while to be passed. Couldn't it just be a case of, to simplify and maybe speed up the process? These organizations or businesses that tend to have containers being moved, about writing to them and asking them that when they're moving their containers to have a pilot with them, rather than having to wait on laws to take effect? Or is it that you think that they may not comply unless a law supports or backs them?
Well, sometimes it's not really the businesses, it's private persons who really owns these.
Yeah, but they're moving it for somebody, so right.
Service, but sometimes I was told that these businesses have special time when they need their containers at their business in order to offload and unload. But these things have to be regulated. As I say, the stakeholders are having consultation meetings to revise these, to put them into law, so that they can be, persons can know what they can and cannot do.
All right. I'm going to let you know if I'm satisfied with that answer by the end of the program.
All right. So what I think is we can take an ad break here, and then we will continue with our interview in a few minutes.
That could have been you. An accident that could have been avoided because your tires had almost no grip on the road. Safety is a factor that should never be overlooked when it comes to your car or whatever you drive. SVG Tire Sales and Services in Falls Avenue and in Arnisvale carries a wide selection of quality new tires to fit any car, truck, minibus, or SUV, so you can experience a comfortable and safe commute every time. We are agents for the world's most reliable brands on and off the road, including Kenda Tires, the king of the mountain; Cooper Tires, king of the road and track; Ostone, the king of the outback; and High Fly, the king of the Asian highway. We also carry new tires for light or heavy-duty trucks from MRF, High Fly, and Linglong. A reliable set of new tires keep you, your passengers, and your payload always in the safe lane. So when you need quality tires with reliability at 100%, choose SVG Tire Sales and Services in Kingstown, 457-1467, or in Arnisvale, 456-6444. SVG Tire Sales and Services. Performance and reliability proven when the rubber meets the road. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a whole new world out there. Reaching new customers and getting products faster. That's what it's all about. Ocean freight rates are skyrocketing, so don't pay more for slower service. It's time to switch to faster, more reliable air cargo service with SkyMax Cargo. Up to 3 flights weekly to and from the USA, Puerto Rico, and the Caribbean islands. Providing excellent import, export, and e-commerce solutions to put you ahead of the competition. For special low rates on small packages and air cargo, contact SkyMax today. 784-456-5400. Local agents SwiftPack Interprime Cargo. Call 784-456-5400 to book your shipments today.
That's the sound of your animals. Strong, healthy, and delivering yields you love. That didn't just happen. It began with you feeding them only the best. East Caribbean Feeds. Rest assured, we only produce your feeds with premium ingredients. No hormones, no animal byproducts. Just everything your animal needs for maximum nutrition. Because your animals deserve only the best. East Caribbean Feeds from Maximum Nutrition.
ECGC has slashed feed prices by 8 to 10%. Check your local supplier for more details. ECGC, providers of feed for maximum nutrition.
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
Cop Chat. You've got questions for the police? They're here to give you the answers on WEFM 99.9.
The world has become such a cruel place. Something is wrong with the human race. Preacher man say it's wonders and signs. We are living in the end of times. Where is the love we once used to know? Where is the kindness we used to show? The heart of man is so full of hate. Let's make a change before it's too late. Too much killing, too much blood spilling. Each and every morning, it's weeping and mourning. We've got to stop all the crimes, erase the violence, let our voice be heard. We can't sit in silence. The hope of tomorrow is in no use today. We've got to live in love. Crime and violence don't pay.
We are back with our Cup Chat here on WEFM. This morning we're speaking on the topic, clearing the way for safer roads. And we're speaking with Mr. Parnell Brown, Assistant Superintendent of Police, and Mr. Karen Caesar, Sergeant of Police, both with the Traffic Department. If you have questions, you can call us 457-9997. You can get us on WhatsApp. You can also get us on the landline using that same number. All right. So going back into our discussion. Go ahead, Roleza.
All right, so let's speak on derelict and abandoned vehicles. How prevalent is this in SVG?
Well, we at the traffic department, we normally go every Tuesday with the solid waste department. I'm just searching around. Not really searching, but they identify some areas where derelict vehicles are. So normally they put on a sticker for 7 days, but they give you a lot of time to move the vehicle if it is an area that on the public road that cause hindrance as well. So in that 7 days, if you ain't move the vehicle, then when they go back the next 2 weeks or so and get the truck and remove it from there and carry it to the solid waste out there, man.
Okay, and is the focus more on main roads? Because some of the community roads, there are a lot of derelict vehicles that are also there, they've been there for years. So is the focus generally more on main roads?
I wouldn't say that the focus is more on the main roads. Sometimes they identify an area that we will go this week and we deal with that area that week. Most of the times, let me put it this way. Most of the times we are the main trying to clear up that aspect of it first before entering these bypass roads that normally traveled by less motorists than that travel on the main 24/7.
Okay. And I have a question as well too with regards to the parking of vehicles on main roads or just roads generally. Has the traffic department ever put in something to planning to suggest that when persons are for newly constructed buildings, especially those that lead directly off of a road, that they have parking on their premises to prevent so much parking on the roads themselves?
What is actually happening right now is that when a new business or building is being built, before it started, they must submit copies of their plan to physical planning. And the physical planning board, of which the policies are a part of, will discuss the plan and to see where any changes are to be made in order to accommodate whether it's an office or persons who might be living. In terms of dwelling houses, the plan also is to be submitted. But sometimes these houses, the plans that are submitted, they do not identify or say whether or not they're having vehicles, and that normally don't be part of the plan. If it is a privately owned a house also. But if it is apartment or office space or whatever, so you must be able to say how much office space and how much parking you're providing. You're supposed to be saying you have adequate parking for your clients. Vehicles parking on the public road, on the main road or public road is a no-no. When you are constructing your home and you know you're going to have vehicles, you have to make preparation for vehicles to park on your compound. The vehicle should not be left on the government road to cause inconvenience or obstruction or unnecessary obstruction or hinder the traffic. And I'm seeing that quite often. You're building your house 100 meters from the public road. Vehicles can't go where you're building. You have an extended family, and 7 persons in the household have vehicles, and you expect the 7 vehicles to be parked at the entrance where you're entering to go on the property, with no consideration for other persons who want to use the road. So because you're living 100 meters from the road and your house is inside there, your vehicle must be parked right on the main the government road to cause inconvenience to other members who are using the road. That shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be, but it sounds like you're saying that the onus should be on the owner of the property now, as opposed to police working along with planning to ensure that at least parking for at least 1 or 2 vehicles should be mandatory when designs are being submitted to planning. Because if you leave it up to owners, they don't want to incur that extra expense.
The transport board is having discussion now. So
plenty talking happening.
The transport board is having discussion. So as to how they're going to tackle that problem in terms of persons leaving their vehicles on the road for longer than unnecessary. So I believe in due course, some sort of plan should be put into place as to how they're going to deal with them, whether they have to pay a toll or whether they can leave them there for X amount of hours and so on and so forth. And I believe in due course we will see legislation put in place to deal with that, because it is tricky.
And every time you see cardboard coming in, you have to wonder where some of these vehicles are going to be parked. So yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah.
All right. I saw some. Can we take some of the WhatsApp?
All
Okay,
right,
so
we have
there is a call.
Hi, caller. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, panelists and to the officer. Yes, we know everybody want a vehicle and it could be a little problem with parking and all kind of thing. But me don't mind a man have a little car, small van and them kind of thing. And it might take up a little space in the public road. But what about if people, when you're going to give a man license for trailer trucks, and he ain't had no place to park them and to the government road. Trailer trucks, you know. You put down a bed, just a bed alone. Where he container going for. that they did it for weeks and months before you could move. And the traffic had to be cautioned because you check up the part of the road, the serious part of the road. I see that as a serious problem because running into one of them trailer truck by pointing one of them back there. You talk about right in half partner. Talk about right in half that truck a good size van. So that one of my most problem. How we could begin people I'm sure the truck license. And then buying all kind of truck and fixing up all kind of old thing and make them into a trailer thing and you with them finding space and the government road to park up and contaminate the traffic. If you could have had to walk on one side, if two coming one had to stop because of your parking up in the government road. That is a part of the problem, yeah? Good night. Good evening.
All right. Any response?
The problem of issuing a license is not the thing of issuing a license is not a problem. Citizens have a right to apply for which class of license they want to apply for in order to make living worthwhile. The concern should be the flatbeds or the parking on. Well, to be honest with you, I've seen the parking of the flatbeds and containers really limited right now in terms of parking on the road because we are in the process, and we have been in the process of taking persons to court for parking these flatbeds and so, where they create a traffic hazard for other persons using the road. So that in its sense is not really something that is prevalent. We somewhat bring that under control. We have that under control, and we have officers designated for different. We have placed the country into zones. For the caller who just called, we have placed the country into zones where we have the cyclists. A zone is assigned to a cyclist. So if, let's say Camden Park, for instance, there's an officer who is assigned to Camden Park, Lowmans, Kittels, and so on and so forth. If that is his zone, and a trailer is left careless on the road, that is creating an obstruction, he will have to give account as to why he have not, one, get in touch with the person who would have parked it there, and two, what is the action taken against the person who would have parked or left the flatbed or the container in the position. Because we have seen where accident occur with these and persons are seriously injured, and we don't want these things to occur.
Okay. All right. So we have somebody called in. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay. Good program so far, but I'm still yet, Officer Brown, that I have this problem with this vehicle that is not licensed and insured, but with all these lights that they have in, you get a taste of it, you just say your experience. I assume from the time you come out from the studio day, that your men them will be on the road and pull every single one the vehicle with those kind of flashy lights off the road. But when you do check then the lights and insure, so how come that they are passing the inspection? How come that they are passing the inspection? How would you explain that?
Caller.
Is that the pass to this plane?
No. Let me tell you something. People are sitting.
Wait, allow him to finish.
I need to check out.
Okay. All right, so you listen off it.
You know how much business people cannot drive after 6 o'clock? I know pastors who say that they don't want to be on the road after 6 o'clock because of the bright light. You know how much business people who say same thing too? So the police definitely have to do something about it. All right.
All right.
Let me hear your response.
All right.
Are you snapping?
Yes. All right.
I love that caller. I love that caller.
Caller wanted the response.
No, these vehicles will have gone through a process of inspection. And I will give you an example. Someone asked earlier on about inspection in Beckway. A motorist went to the person who is making number plates and told the person, I need the number plate that the police are going to harass you for. The right number plate.
Mm.
So the person would have asked, but your vehicle have a number plate? He said, yes. But the number plate, them are there and they flash it, so the police now go pass me with that. So as soon as they don't pass me with the right number plate, I put on back the flashing number plate.
Uh-huh.
And this is what is happening.
Right.
You will see these vans, they will go to the police garage for inspection. These vehicles, they will go to police garage and they will go with everything good.
Mm.
And as soon as they pass the inspection, the license, register the license and insure them with the vehicle, the same day or the night,
they train up everything.
You wonder if this is the same vehicle that passed inspection.
They train up everything.
So what we do, if you are caught committing the offenses, you pay. So caller is not that they're going through the shoot. They're not going through the shoot. They have been inspected, but they change up when they're going for inspection, and after inspection, they change back to the stupid, to the foolishness. You understand?
That's correct.
But we're doing our regular checks, and as time goes on, time to time, we catch up with these people. So I'm very happy that you would have raised it, you would have seen it, and we are taking steps in order to correct all these things from happening. Thanks for your call, sir.
All right. So you had another question, Dianna?
No.
Okay.
No.
So we are quickly approaching the end of the program, but we know that we're heading into a very long weekend. All right. What do you have to say to us as drivers, as motorists? We just free like normal on the weekend on the roads. What advice do you have for us?
Right. I will advise all motorists for this long weekend, the Easter weekend that is. Drive carefully, be safe. If you know you are going to activities where you're going to consume alcohol, make sure you have a designated driver to take care of it. Because most of the times, these accidents that you see occur.
All right, so we have a call before you give the friend wrap. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning. What about the trailer that's like in the corner right after Jack Paul? That is very dangerous.
Okay. Okay. So you're alerting them about a trailer being at the corner by Jack's Wall.
Yeah, we know of the trailer. We're trying to locate the
Oh.
Yes, caller. We know of the trailer, but we're trying to locate the person who would have parked the trailer in that area. That is in Rattermill.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to locate the person who would have parked a trailer, and the police in Calico is also assisting because that is their district. So they are also assisting to try to see if they can locate the person who would have parked that trailer, the flatbed.
Mm-hmm. But so in a case where you can't locate you're trying to locate the owner. How much time do you give to trying to locate the owner?
To locate them.
You can't move it without locating them?
We don't have anything to move those trailers.
We don't have vehicles to move them.
Mm.
We don't have the tractor to move them. So I mean, we have to do our job to locate the people in good time, and where offense is committed, we prosecute them for the offense.
But if they can't be found, or you can't.
Be found. You can't say they can't be found.
Somebody must see somebody.
Can and will be found. We are not going to take Cain be found. The Cain and the will be
I'm just thinking of this is an inconvenience to the public, and if more drastic measure may have to be taken.
No, it ain't parked on the road. It is parked off the road in the corner. But the position in which it is parked, if someone have to actually lose control of their vehicle and run into it, it will they can sustain serious injuries, and the vehicle can be badly or seriously damaged. But it is off the road.
Okay.
It is off the road. But it just means that the location in which it is parked, it was left. It is not appropriate for them, for it to stay there for any long period of time. Okay. But I know what the caller is talking about.
Okay. All right. So,
yes, as I was saying, a high percentage of these accidents that occur during these times is after functions. So you see, when people leaving the function late, sometimes they're tired, they consume a little bit too much, accident occur. So we are appealing to people that we want to make St. Vincent and Grenadines a safer place for everybody, including the drivers themselves, along with the passengers who they carry, and pedestrian persons who are using the road. Okay. So if you go into a function, you can control yourself, refrain from having X amount. If you know you have to sleep, you go in a vehicle, you get a 2 hours sleep. So when your friends are ready to go, you're all free to go. And everything will be safe.
Okay. And the law is still in force for amplified music for tomorrow, right? All right. We have a call. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to the officers.
Good morning.
I would like you all to check in caller. When you leave the roundabout in caller, and going through caller, some vehicles have been parked on the left-hand side of the road. Very, 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 very little cause accident. If you look on the road, you see the amount of bricks. Impression. Just try to call it. You'll see for yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, caller.
Thanks for your call.
All right. So, yes, Brown, any final words from you?
I have more than final words. No, I want the general public to be aware that as of the 4th of May, from the 4th of May, we are going to do a change back of the traffic in Level Gardens. At present, the traffic in the Level Gardens can only flow from Leeward side or Kingston side over to the Girls High School side. Okay? That will continue until the 4th of May. From the 4th of May, we are going to have the traffic rerouted. From 7 a.m. in the morning, you can enter or you can drive from Girls High School over to Level Gardens between 7 and 9. And from 9:30, the traffic go back normal.
Okay.
Monday to Friday. So we just want to bring that part of it to the general public so that they can be aware. More awareness will be going out as the days come and goes. We'll make the general public aware as to what is happening through the media and other medium where they put the attention to. Now for persons, I mean, sometimes we have to have a little respect for ourselves and for others. If for some reason the year having 365 days, I don't know on a leap year how much days did the year have on a leap year?
366.
366. Right. And throughout the 365 days, there's one day that is designated as, that should be a quiet day. For me, that should be a quiet day where you, have some respect for yourself and give reverence to the Almighty. I don't see why people should still apply for permission. I mean, you're well within your rights, to apply for permission to play amplified music. But I mean,
you mean for tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I mean, it's a day as a God-fearing nation. I mean, should give some reverence, man. I don't know what application is before the Commissioner of Police and what he will do, but it is within his stead. But for persons who are not biblically inclined, who doesn't see it that it is worthy to give thanks to the Almighty, and you are engaged in other activities, I want to remind you not to drink and drive. Do not go and start to play music to disturb the peaceful gatherings of the church. If you're going to engage in activity where you're going to have a blast out, have a designated driver in terms of alcohol. If you're going to have music played, seek permission from the Commissioner of Police, and if permission is granted, pay it in moderation. Drink in moderation or have a designated driver to drive you from point A to point B. I'm just advising everybody, you're going to enjoy the Easter weekend in whatever way you want, but just be careful and preserve life.
But just to note though, so tomorrow there should not be amplified music, and if I remember correctly, there should be no sale of alcohol, right?
Yes.
Law still stands. Yes. All right. Okay.
And with that, we have come to the end of our interview here. You don't want it to end, officer? You want to continue the interview?
All I'm saying is start me late and you end me early.
Is there anything else that you wish to tell us? Because it's fine.
Yes. No, I just want to bring something to the attention of the general public. And we have to work in conjunction with the general public. We have to foster a better relationship. Now, for the truck drivers, they have also until the end of this month to bring their truck to compliance standard. Now, you would have seen the trucks driving. You can't recognize the number plate. They have no brakes light. They have no indicator. They have nothing behind.
No light at all
behind black like midnight. Dark as midnight behind the trucks. You have until the end of this month. I am speaking to the truckers. I know you play a very important role in the construction industry and so on and so forth. But I am appealing to the truckers. Do not wait until the 1st of May to say you're going to start to put on the lights behind and build a nice little case so that the material that you're dumping will not break your lights. Do not wait until the 1st of May, because there is enforcement time. Now is the time for you to go and rectify your trucks in order to bring it to compliance standard. So I'm advising, please. And I have noticed that many of the trucks, whether the 4 tonners or the 8 ton, the 20 ton, the 28 ton, the 32 tons, every truck man believe now that the small 4 inches lights should be erected all over the trucks, making it look like a Christmas tree. Your truck is not a Christmas tree. If you want to put additional lights on your truck, apply to the licensing authority and request permission. If permission is denied, the makers make the truck with adequate lighting to allow other persons that you are on the road at night. So I'm appealing to the truckers. Please bring your truck fully to the standard that is accepted according to the law.
All right.
Yeah.
Everything out? All right. Yeah.
All right, so that brings us to the end of our interview this morning. We were speaking with Assistant Superintendent of Police Panel Brown and Sergeant Karen Caesar on the topic clearing the way for safer roads. Officers, thank you. Okay, go ahead, Officer Brown.
No, I am not sure if persons.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can hold it up.
I'm not sure
All
if
right.
persons are seeing this fund that we have agreed upon. This is a fund that the police, along with the stakeholders, have agreed upon that in order to form part of your registration plate. So if you are viewing this, just look at it very carefully, and you see the P. It doesn't have any flashy thing on it. It doesn't have P's come off to the side. The 5, it look like the S, and the 2, it look like the Z. So the 6 doesn't have the curve, and the 9 to look like an 8 or 0. Look at these very carefully. I believe the media, we have published it in the media, and you have to look at them very carefully once you're a motorist to ensure that your registration plate is of this standard. So please bring your vehicle to compliance standard. I want to thank you very much. I don't know if during the course I'm walking out, if I remember anything. If I remember anything,
you can call it anytime around 9:25. All right. Well, we thank you both for being here with us this morning. We know that your job is not the easiest of one, especially having to deal with, us lovely Vincentians. But we know that you are playing a critical role, especially in terms of keeping law and order here in SVG. So I
thought there was let me just touch one more piece of item. Is that littering is a serious offense and serious problem in St. and Grenadines. We see the public service vans going, transport going. We have see private vehicles going, and we always see garbage flying out the window. Out the window. It is an offense under the Litter Act. We see the trucks coming and stone dropping off, materials flying off. It is an offense, and the police will continue to clamp down on these things. A man walking in the road and he eats something and he drops the remains on the ground. It is an offense. Now I know that when these law the Litter Act was revised, we were promised for ticket to be printed so that we can issue tickets to persons who are littering in our streets and so on, that normally make our street unsafe. So I'm just appealing to the relevant authorities. We have still to receive the tickets for under the Litter Act. Yeah, I know on several occasions the solid waste and the person who's in charge of town board and so would have a discussion on this, where we are still awaiting the tickets for persons who are littering. And I know they're coming. Might not be now, but they are coming. And we should be responsible for our actions. You can't be eating and throwing remains on the street. It creates an environment for rodents. Rodents will make the place unhealthy. And if you happen to pick up a virus or a disease from these rodents, it's life-threatening. So you see where this will take us. You eat a banana and you throw the skin on the street. Someone walk and fall on it, throw them on the back. Is a health issue. They might throw them on the ground where a vehicle is passing the same time. The vehicle might tread on them. So you see the logic behind these things. So litter, please, if you have waste that you do not want on your person or in your bags, properly dispose of them in the necessary bins that are provided by the solid waste management team.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You sure know?
I was gonna.
All right. Well, we wishing both of you a hopefully a rest-filled Easter weekend. All right, hopefully. All right. So thanks very much for being here with us this morning. All right.